Welcome to
Midnight Circle.
from your friends at House of Whimsical Terror.
A chat about curious topics.
And this week's topic is plants, herbs, and gardens, medicinal and otherwise.
Exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited about this topic. And Mary, because she is the best friend ever, I told her I was fascinated with poison gardens, and I visited a few, mostly in Ireland, and asked her if she would write something about it. And she did.
I did, and I got lost in a rabbit hole.
Yes.
And now we have poison gardens and a bunch of other things.
Yes. Because
Yes,
Mary's great about getting interested in obscure topics and following all the interesting things about them.
Yes, and if I'm lucky, I'll be able to actually pronounce most of the words in this episode. But we'll see about that.
You and me both. But to begin with, we want to remind our listeners that you should not put things in your mouth unless you know exactly what they are. So, don't go rooting around and eating random plants. It can be dangerous.
It can.
With that word of warning out of the way, we have stories about gardens today. The history of medicinal or apothecary gardens dates back to ancient Babylon and 2600 BC. Directions for identifying symptoms, making prescriptions, and compounding concoctions were found on clay tablets from that time. Papyrus Ebers from 1500 BC Egypt shows more than 700 prescriptions. And in India, we have the Sushruta Samhita compendium on medicinal formulations dating from 1 BC.
That's right. And the Papyrus Ebers is apparently one of the oldest surviving medical texts.
Oh, that is interesting.
It is. It's absolutely fascinating.
And I think I butchered Sushruta
Samhita.
Sushruta.
We may have.
Yes.
We may have indeed. And so if you would like to correct our pronunciation, please feel free.
No one ever does.
No,
do
they
it.
don't.
Because we don't mind that at all.
Maybe are polite at heart.
We like politeness too.
So we're just going to apologize in advance for any words in which we have mispronounced, because I'm probably about to do a whole lot of that in a second. Also, I think the title of this episode was supposed to be Poison Gardens, and then otherwise. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you may find some different title when you open this.
Yeah.
Because we'll use your original title.
Perhaps we will.
Yes.
That's right. We may forget by the time we get done. Okay, ready? Here we go. So in China, there is the Shen Neng Ping Cao Qing from the 3rd century CE. And this text formed the foundation of Chinese medicine. And many of its recommendations are still followed today.
Interesting.
It is. For instance, Ma Huang was the inspiration for ephedrine in modern medicine. In the 15th and 16th century, apothecaries were lauded and were the precursors to the general practitioners of today. In Ireland and Great Britain, they diagnosed, compounded, and treated illness. And what are some of the herbs, flowers, and plants they used? Well, Esther, let us review a few.
We shall. And I have to say, I have always pronounced that ephedrine. But
it could be.
I was thinking, those words you see that are like one thing and you only read them so you think they're the thing.
Yeah.
And then you find out you've been pronouncing it wrong like your whole life.
Well, I'm just going to go with maybe it's colloquial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Maybe in some parts of the country, it's ephedrine, right? Some parts it's ephedrine.
Yes.
It could be anything, really.
We could just make up whatever we want.
We could. Speed.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Probably no one's out there fact checking us, so we can
Probably not yet. But you never know.
You never know.
It could be coming.
Yeah.
But that's a different episode.
Also, we welcome fact checkers.
Yes, we do.
Just to be honest and to be
because we like
transparent.
learning.
Yes. And we, our egos aren't so big that we mind being fact-checked.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here are the few that we are going to talk about.
Can I just add, please don't look for things to fact check us on, but...
Oh, do. Just do, yes.
I'm kidding.
Look for things.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. So, ginseng, tuckahoe, and wolfberry were 3 types of popular medicines in ancient China. Each of them were also reputed to hold mystical properties of transformation. Specifically, ginseng could turn itself into boys or old men.
Yes.
Because it kind of looks like a human form of the root, right?
Mm-hmm.
And wolfberries into dogs. Aww. Mm-hmm. These transformations were considered spiritual, and though they may result in tricksters, these were not chaotic spirits.
No.
Once a transformation took place, it was believed they could magically confer immortality upon humans. So the herb spirit beings were often chased and hunted. They were considered rare delicacies to those who caught and consumed them.
Fascinating, right?
Yeah, it was almost what?
Transmogrification-like?
I was going to say cannibalism, but we could go transmogrification. Yes.
Right. Like, I would just like some wolfberries that would turn me into a dog.
Oh, turn you into a dog? I thought they turned themselves
into dogs. No, they
turned
themselves into dogs, but I would like to do that. Look at my dog right now.
Your dog.
Okay, you guys, my dog is laying on all the pillows.
The Doberman is very elegant.
Yes, and I aspire for that level of relaxation. Yes, I do.
He's fierce, except when he's with his family, just his relaxing.
That's right. Okay.
So we're going to move on to Latin America.
Yes, we are.
Where the use of herbs for healing or spiritual journeying is widespread among cultures. The Huichol were wary of Datura, the morning glory or devil's trumpet, because it is considered a tool of dark practitioners. In Oaxaca, the female healers or curanderas have used psilocybin, thank you, Mexicana mushrooms in curing ceremonies and pain relief for a long time. These women mix and administer healing compounds for many ailments. And though they have been secretive in decades past, they have been more visible as times change. As far back as Neanderthals, medical herbs have been used. The dental, you have to help me with this one, Mary, calculi of these ancestors from 50,000 years ago showed chamomile, or as they say in Ireland, chamomile, which is good for stomach upset, and yarrow, an herb used for improving digestion.
Right. They studied the Neanderthal dental calculi and found a lot of information about diet, but the medicinal qualities of these herbs to be found as well was very intriguing.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, extremely.
Fascinating.
However, there is often another side to, well, just about everything.
True.
And we would be remiss if we didn't review poison gardens.
Yes.
Many plants and herbs are poisonous, but also retain healing properties. It is often knowing the thresholds between when a plant cures or kills that is important. Hellebore is a common plant in Australian landscapes, and I hope that's how it's pronounced, and is said to treat mental health, but too much can be toxic, if not deadly. Henbane will make you faint if you take a sniff of its blossom. In fact, it was Caterina Sforza of the Italian House of Sforza who, as an apothecarist, discovered chloroform.
Interesting.
She also had herbal mixes to dye hair black, whiten skin, and even make invisible ink.
Fascinating.
Caterina was a very busy lady.
Yeah, and super fabulous.
Right?
Yeah, I think maybe there was a bad side to her. You can fact check me on that,
I'll
too.
fact check you on that, too. No, I won't. The sports were part of the Renaissance. So
yes, they were.
I just love that.
Okay, so the most famous poison garden of all was begun by the Duchess of Northumberland at the 900-year-old Alnwick Castle. Mm-hmm. You may recall we discussed Alnwick when we were exploring the vampire said to be a residence as recorded by William of Newburgh in the 12th century.
Yes, that was in one of our episodes, but currently I do not recall which episode it was.
So, it was a good one, though.
It was. You guys just have to listen to all of them, I guess.
Yeah, go through all of them and you'll find that
Eventually you'll find that.
The Poison Garden has a mission of education and was started in 2005. The Duchess wanted to do something unique, and today it is owned by a foundation and people visit it regularly for guided tours. Traveling past the stone-carved lions within the winding paths and overgrown arbors, you can find displays of strychnine, belladonna, and foxglove. In fact, hundreds of poisonous plants are there. Mm-hmm. Many of the specimens are very common and surprisingly toxic. Mm-hmm. Some are so dangerous they are behind cages, and visitors are asked not to touch, smell, or stand too closely to any of the plants. A few standout items at Alnwick are giant hogweed, whose gargantuan presence is hard to miss. It looks much like a beanstalk, but its sap will burn you, and the blisters will recur for years. It is most common in the North, Mid, and Pacific Northwest of the United States. Brugmansia, or angel's trumpet, is commonly sold as an annual mm-hmm. in cold climes and cultivated as trees in warmer ones. It has a long trumpet-like blossom that carries an LSD-like hallucinogen. Victorian ladies were thought to drop a few pollen grains into their tea for a more stimulating day.
Fascinating.
All parts of this plant are toxic, so we strongly advise never to do that.
No, do not do that.
I saw the poison garden at Blarney Castle.
Oh, wow.
So I have to say, the Blarney Stone to me was not interesting at all.
Poison garden.
Poison garden. I even bought honey there because I thought, the bees were pollinating from the poison garden.
Oh, how fascinating.
Must be really delicious because they had Blarney honey.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't die.
I don't recall seeing any of that, but I'm sure I did. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? But you didn't die, and that's what's important.
And the honey was delicious.
And you guys don't follow our example. Unless you purchase the honey from the Blarney Cows.
Oh, yeah, I purchased it from the Blarney. I didn't, go harvest
Don't go harvesting any of your own.
Yeah, especially on places that are not your property.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
I would never do.
Yeah, no.
But poison gardens are beautiful and interesting.
And that is fascinating. And that's some cool honey.
Right?
Right? I would do that.
Yeah. And Kayla was just telling us a story about the mushroom cap lady.
Oh,
that's happened just a couple of years ago.
Yes, in Australia. The mushroom cap lady. So that's a legal case still being, it's still in process. But she allegedly. She was a forager.
She was really a forager, not allegedly.
No, yeah. She really was a forager of mushrooms. And I guess she had her in-laws over and allegedly made a
beef Wellington.
And somehow all three of these people, her in-laws and the uncle, in-laws, they're dead.
Except for one who's barely alive?
Perhaps. Yeah. Actually, one's, I think, barely alive. And then she's alive and her children are alive.
Because they didn't need any beef Wellington.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a whole other story.
But it was the mushrooms that were poison mushrooms.
They were death caps.
Yes.
Yeah. Which for a forager, you might, I don't know, maybe they're hard to tell. But I'm thinking you'd know about that because you'd want to avoid picking them.
Right.
But that's just my opinion. And if you want to do a little true crime investigation, check out the mushroom deaths in Australia from
that's
2023.
fascinating. Yeah, recent history. So,
but again, the power of plants, right? You just never know.
Yeah, but you should know. So if you're foraging,
you should
make
know
sure
if you're
you know
foraging.
what you're doing.
Yes, and don't harvest your own honey at Blarney Castle.
No, buy the ones that they have for sale in the gift shop.
So, where were we?
Daffodils?
Oh, daffodils. Yeah, daffodils are poisonous. All parts of them. That's what it said.
That's crazy.
That's what it says. Daffodils are poisonous, all the parts. Though they are rarely fatal when ingested. So there is that. Cutting them can lead to a rash if you are in contact with the sap for a very long period of time.
Oof.
So that, daffodils, of all things, right? So I guess the moral of the story is so many beautiful things are dangerous. Isn't that the truth?
Aren't poinsettias poisonous?
Yes. Aren't they poisonous to cats, particularly?
Oh, they always have those warnings out for animals around the holidays with poinsettias.
So it's not the holiday. You have like 12 months to go before that happens. But when that time comes, keep your cats away from those. So many things are beautiful and dangerous. And this is no less true in the world of horticulture.
True.
In fact, you may not want to stop and smell anything that you can't identify.
Ooh, even smelling it is dangerous.
Well, yes. Foxglove, I believe. Yeah, not good. All right. So there you have it, everybody. That's what we have for you today. And until next time, thank you for joining us. And don't put anything in your mouth unless you know what it is. And it's yours. Just say it.